Let me tell you something, man. White people hate you just because of who you are. Let me say that again because it's the truth. They hate you just because of who you are. When they look at you and they look at that beautiful brown complexion that you have, that tan complexion that you have, or that deep, dark, rich complexion that you have, they long for that melanin that you have in your skin that they do not have. And if what I'm saying is not correct, you have to ask yourself this question. Why would a person go and buy suntan oil, all types of suntan lotions and potions, and then put it all over their bodies, all over their skin? And then they go and lay in the sun for hours on end. They do that so that now their skin will turn brown and tan like your skin. Yet they have the audacity to actually call you black when they try time and time again, summer after summer. And if it's not summertime, they go in lay in a suntan or a tanning bed so that they can look like you. So I know what I'm telling you today is the truth. They hate our women because of their big, beautiful lips, man. Those big, voluptuous lips. They hate us because of that. They hate our sisters because of that. And if what I'm saying is not true, why would they go and have collagen injected into their lips to make their lips big and beautiful like ours? The reason why is they hate you because you have a feature that they're just not born with. So again, they hate you for just being you. All you did was be born on the face of this earth. The melanin that you have in your skin, them big, beautiful lips that you have, you were born with that. You didn't do anything special. You were just born into the earth. Then they talk about our women and how they have the big butts and how their butts are just so big and outrageous and outlandish. But guess what? They go and have butt implants put into their butts or have injections into their butts so that their butts can look just as outrageous as your butts. And that's funny to me because yet and still they talk all about how we look and how our women look, yet and still they fight and they go and pay tens of thousands of dollars so that they can have those same butts that you have. Then they talk about the food that we eat. Yet and still, you go to a Caribbean restaurant, you have to fight through them to get through the doors. Everyone knows that the black woman is the best cook on the face of the planet. Earth, that is. That's why during the times of slavery, who did they have cooking the food in their kitchens? They had black women in those kitchens cooking. Even after slavery, they had black women in there cooking. That's why they had Aunt Jemima on the box, because they know that we cook the best food on the face of the planet. Can't nobody touch the black, Hispanic, and Native American women when it comes to cooking. Ain't no doubt about that. Now, another reason they hate you is because they cannot outperform you when it comes to running, jumping, basketball, baseball, football, you name it. Sports, forget about it. Tennis now, forget about it. They let Howard University, they done started swimming now. And they're predicted to come out on top already this year, and the season hadn't even started. Why? Because anything that we get involved in, we excel at it, and they know it. So again, they hate you just because you are who you are. You're not doing anything special at all. You're just being yourself. and they hate you for being who you are. Let's look at who are the smartest people on the face of the earth. We are. I'm going to tell you point blank, plain and simple, that it's us. When you look at the reason that they can send a rocket into outer space and that rocket will return back to Earth, black women did that. Black women did that. And whenever they give us an opportunity to learn at the same pace within the same learning environment, we far excel white people, hate to say it, when it comes to learning as well. We far excel or far exceed you and your learning capabilities. It's a fact. When you look at the inventions that's been created on the face of this earth, let's take a look at the inventions. What type of inventions do black people create? The stoplight, the refrigerator, and you can go on and on and on and look at the type of inventions that we create. We create inventions that help society to prosper and forward in a positive way or a positive manner. The inventions that they create are inventions that teaches society how to kill mass amounts of people at once, bombs and nuclear bombs and machine guns and stuff like that. Things that don't help society, they only hurt society. Again, I tell you, they hate you just because you are who you are. The problem is, being that they can't be you, every time they look at you, guess what happens? You remind them of what they cannot be. You remind them of what they cannot be and what they would like to be. And so, being that they can't be you, the only other thing that they can do is throw you in prison, keep you impoverished, and when all else fails, they decide to kill you, to hang you from trees, pull you over in traffic stops, kill you unjustly. These are the things that they do. And they're not just doing them just because. They're doing them because you are who you are. You are the greatest people on the face of the earth. And no one wants to admit it. And most of us are too afraid to say it. Most of us are too afraid to say it. But stand up and be who you are. Because God gave you this. This is a God-given talent that we have. And no man and no amount of killing or incarceration is going to stop this from happening. You can stop this generation, but what about the next generation? God's going to bless them with the same thing, because who we are is a gift from God, and there's nothing you can do about it and nothing they can do about it. This is who God intended for us to be. So cherish it. Embrace who you are. Love who you are. You're God's chosen people. That's who you are. And with that, I'm out. I'll come back at you again soon. Take care.
Hello, amazing viewers. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandoval. In today's video, we're going to be talking about why white people are jealous of the blacks. If it's your first time of coming to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel, like, share, turn on the notification bell, and also drop a comment in the comment section. Credit belongs to the owners of the clips and stitches that have been attached to this video. And know that this video is for educational purposes and not to lash on anyone. With that being said, let's dive into it.
Oh, I do think that white people are absolutely jealous of black people, specifically with the community, and also with like fashion and music and everything else that is appropriated. But by design of what whiteness is, it inherently lacks community. And I think we're absolutely jealous of that. And I've heard biracial people say that they do see that difference in their own families, because in addition to European cultures being more individualistic than cultures from Africa, South America, and indigenous North American cultures, the invention of whiteness in America erased a lot of ties to actual culture. So when I say like white people, black community, I'm not talking about like Polish people or German people or Irish people. As I explain in my book, I just wrote the intro and I'm working on the conclusion today. Y'all keep me in your prayers. In the course of human history, white is a relatively new term. As we discussed in the introduction to this book, white is a North American term emerging from the 1600s as a term to justify the enslavement of Africans and squelch revolts from poor Europeans and indentured servants. Before this term, Europeans would identify with their nationalities. The Irish, Italians, Germans, French are all very different cultures. Thus, there is not the same communal tie to whiteness as there is for people from other communities. Further, since white was created to be a divider, a separator, it is not a happy identity. It is not something people want to admit they relate to. It doesn't have a rich, healthy history. Speaking as a white American who has conducted national level research on white Americans, we tend to say things like we have German, Irish, Italian, etc. ancestry, even if we have never been to those places. This is because all white Americans have ties to immigration, and because these identities are actual cultures, they do not have roots only in oppression. Now, we know who started colonization, right? So this is the book I'm trying to finish by Monday and send to the editor. There's a free chapter in my bio if you're interested on one of the unwritten rules of work. The book is predominantly about class, but I talk about 3 other identities that you can't talk about class without talking about these other identities, and race is absolutely one of them.
White people, are y'all scared to go in black spaces? You know, I know a lot of you, and if you're like, is he talking about me? Probably. Are you scared to go in black spaces? If so, I'm talking about you. I feel like so many white people are scared to go in black spaces for stereotypical reasons, right? Whether subconscious or not. You're probably thinking, am I safe? Are they just gonna jump me? Like, I don't know what you're thinking. Like, are they gonna rob me? Like, but I don't really know like what you think is gonna happen. And I think a lot of you think, well, I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb. You will. You're the only white person there. How do you think a black person feels when they walk into a white space? You will stick out like a sore thumb. Of course you will. Well, they look at me, baby, they're making sure you're not there to hurt them. See, the difference is you're looking at them through the lens of stereotypes, right? They're looking at you through a lens of self-protection, because obviously through history, this country has shown over and over and over again the way it feels about its black citizens. And it's still doing it today. So baby, when you walk into their space, they're just trying to make sure that they're safe around you because of actual historical reasons, not stereotypes. The magic happens when they realize you're safe. That's when the magic happens. And I promise you it's magic.
Colonialism and slavery created societies where white people were placed at the top of a racial hierarchy. But maintaining the hierarchy requires constant reinforcement, laws, propaganda, and so on, because it was built on insecurity, not truth. When you build power on a lie, talking about white supremacy now, you become threatened by anything that contradicts that lie. Black excellence, creativity, strength, and resilience naturally challenged the myth, causing resentment in those who depended on the hierarchy for their own identity. So culturally influenced admiration, hidden as resentment. Black culture shapes global music, shapes fashion, language, sports, and entertainment. Even when marginalized, Black people create a kind of trend that the world follows. Some individuals admire this influence, but also lack the emotional maturity to admit this. So that hidden admiration can flip into jealousy. It can flip into jealousy that is seen in cultural appropriation, mocking hairstyles that they later wear, and then or policing black expression. Some white individuals feel the historical privilege, economic advantage, political dominance, social status when black people or when black communities rise. Now, academically, politically, economically, this triggers insecurity in people who believe that equality means losing something. This fear can turn into hostility. This fear can turn into defensive behavior or attempt to undermine black progress. Black people have survived centuries of oppression, and black people still produce confidence, unity, and identity strength. In the midst of it all, black people have the physical strength, the creativity, the spirituality, the charisma, and all whatnot. And all of this can trigger envy in people who do not understand how the black identity thrives under pressure. For me, my final thought on this is that the jealousy isn't about skin color. Jealousy is about power, is about insecurity, is about cultural influence, and a long history of trying to suppress what one secretly admires. Again, this applies only to those or to some individuals and some institutions, not entirely racial groups. White people look at black people as the great. Of course, we all know that the blacks are the great. And no matter what it is, black people do not give up until it's up. And in most cases, even when it's up, black people won't still give up. They believe in the survivor of the fittest. And know that this video is for educational purposes and not to lash on anyone. Credit belongs to the owners of the clips and stitches attached to this video. With that being said, I'll say thank you for watching. Again, peace and love. Until my next one. Bye for now.